This lovely device is called the R8 Roll Recovery. If you haven't seen any of my 2 previous videos about it, go check those out. But basically, it's a replacement for a foam roller. And because of its design being spring-loaded with these little rollers on each side, you can take it anywhere, do it standing up, do it at work, you can fly with it. It's really amazing. Plus, you're not that person laying on the ground, rolling over that awkward foam roller, sprawled out, taking up the whole room. So today I want to do an experiment with this. What happens if I thoroughly roll one leg with it and I don't roll the other leg at all, both before and after a run? What difference does it make? How does it feel? Is it easier on the run? Does it feel tighter? Does it feel looser? Let's find out. Let's do a little A/B testing. So this is also kind of a follow-up because I've had this now for about a year. And I honestly didn't know anybody else who had one. I'd never used it before. I bought it totally sight unseen. So I was just trusting that it was something worth having. And it's worked out. I mean, it's a pretty darn great replacement for a foam roller, at least for your lower body. You can't really do any back or shoulder or any area up high, but for your legs, it's really easy to use. It's super portable and it's been good. This is also kind of a test of how it's held up over the last year. I haven't used it every day. It's not been really heavily used, but I carry it around a lot and I do use it a fair amount. So one of my concerns was actually that these plastic components were going to break. Now, it doesn't feel like it's cheaply made. It's obviously fairly well put together. And you can see there's some little structural elements in here, these little triangular braces and things. But the whole purpose of this thing is to have a spring-loaded force on your leg so that you get the benefit of these rollers. And my fear was that the attachment points for these springs would end up breaking. Let's see if I can get an angle here. So you see that area there where the actual spring is attached to the rest of the frame. It's not a really substantial piece of plastic, and it is just plastic. Most of this is entirely plastic, actually. The hardware is metal. I assume the rollers are partially metal, but otherwise it's all plastic. So my fear was that over time either the spring would wear out, that it would get stretched out, or I was afraid that the spring might break off that little bracket. Thus far, it is holding strong. All right, let's choose the right leg to roll, the left leg to leave alone. And as a precursor, I don't have like an existing injury or tightness or anything happening. I'm at a pretty good place right now health-wise to do this kind of test, so it should be fairly fair.
Can't stop, won't stop, just like a rolling stone. Let's spend all night out on the open.
I feel sufficiently warmed up. Rolled up, rolled out. Let's go for the mile run.
Let's spend all night out on the open road. Try to see the sun. Our hearts are born to run. Go. Can't stop, won't stop, just like a rolling stone.
All right, I just got back from the run. Wanted to give you my notes on the side that got rolled versus the side that didn't. So while I was running, I actually forgot about this whole experiment for like the first third of a mile, which I think is good. It's kind of a safe margin of error to just run, just let things be normal, don't think about it too hard. But whenever I did finally realize that I was doing this experiment as a thing, I noticed that my right leg just didn't feel like anything, if that makes sense, and my left leg felt a little bit tighter, which is fine. It's not a big deal. It wasn't really tight. And then as I continued running, I thought about it again at about like the half-mile mark. And I noticed again, this leg doesn't really feel like anything. This leg feels kind of tight. So then on my way back, I kind of always go to the same point and turn around and come back. On my way back, I was 3/4 done with the mile and noticeably felt more tightness and a little bit more fatigue, it felt like, in this leg. I don't think that's a fair judge. Like, it can't actually be more fatigued, but it just felt like that. Like, it felt a little bit stiffer, a little bit heavier, where this leg still felt fresher. So that's pretty interesting. So as I sit right now, the legs feel largely the same. This one feels a little bit tighter here in my hamstring and in my calf, where again, the right leg feels like nothing. If you're a runner and you run a long distance and your legs feel like nothing, that's a good sign. So let's roll one more time here, and then I'll give you an update after about 30 more minutes to see how things feel as I'm cooling down.
And go. Can't stop, won't stop, just like a rolling rolling stone. Ooh, let's spend all night out on the
Shower felt good. So follow up. Overall, the leg that we rolled, the right leg, feels fresher, feels a little bit better than the left leg. I don't know what this test is, but I'm doing it. I would say overall, this right leg that we did roll feels better than the left leg we didn't roll. If you haven't seen this before, like I said before, I've got a couple of reviews of it. I'll put one of the links up here. After a year of use, how's it held up? It really feels almost identical to new. I think I expected the springs to get pretty squeaky and the wheels to get loose and things to not be so good, but it doesn't feel like it's been compromised at all. So I think it's a good purchase if you travel or if you just want to not be on the ground foam rolling, then I think this is a really great option. And one of the reasons why I got this over like a Theragun or some other kind of battery operated massaging device is it's perfectly quiet. So you can do it at work, it's not a big deal. It is cheaper than the name brand versions of that kind of a thing, that like percussion massager device. There's no batteries to charge ever, and it's just very simple. I like the simplicity of it. I like that it's relatively affordable. I recommend it. Hey, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for the final day of the 30-day running 1 mile per day challenge. We're here. All right, see you on the next one. Tomorrow, we run.